What's up, everyone? I wanted to do a video tonight on YouTube because it looks like I'm gonna be doing a lot more videos on YouTube of my own. As you guys know, I do that hobby show on Sunday nights, and I do what was formerly Seth's Daily Podcast on Sunday nights as well, which is now the Line Before podcast that we came up with a name for. So with those doing those two shows, I haven't really put a whole lot of time and effort on to chasing the graph, and I've got to change that. I've got to get back to what I was doing before, and I've got to put more time and effort into it. For the first probably year that I started chasing the graph, I was doing all kinds of giveaways and doing the interviews that I wanted to do. Created when I created the Chasing the Graph, as far as interviewing celebrities and athletes about their autograph experiences, as far as asking them have they ever signed anything weird or unusual, have they ever been denied an autograph, have they ever been denied an autograph, and if they could have one person's autograph, whose would it be? Those videos never really have taken off. They've been a ton of fun to do. I'm going to keep doing them just because that's what I created Chasing the Graph for. And back in October of 2020, I decided that I was going to get back into sports cards and, you know, buying, selling, trading, that kind of thing. And when I got in back into it, it was like walking into an invisible wall, basically, because I didn't know that the hobby during the pandemic had changed so much. I collected hard from 2010 to 2015, and then in 2015, I just dropped it cold turkey, basically, and didn't buy on eBay, didn't trade, didn't do anything at all card related up until October of last year. So that was uh, about a 5 year hiatus, really. So I didn't want to um, put chasing the graph on the back burner as much as I did for the last several months, because retail sports cards during the pandemic have been absolutely impossible to find. And so I got into this weird mindset of I'm going to beat these people looking for cards. I'm going to put in the time and effort. I'm going to get retail cards before these people do. And I wasted so many lunch breaks, went before work, on my lunch break, after work, looking Walmart, Target, and never finding anything, finding a few things here and there, and just getting sucked back in when I did find something. But I have wasted so much time doing that and putting, chasing the graph on the back burner in the process. And that's something I never wanted to do. And it almost became like a weird game to me, as far as like looking for cards. Like, oh, yeah, like I'm going to hit Walmart today 3 times. I'm going to hit before these people do. When in all reality, nothing against them. I'm not saying anything at all. But working 8 to 5 every day, it's hard to beat people that didn't have jobs and could stand in their Walmart aisle or Target aisle for hours at a time. And that's where a lot of the time wasting came in, and a lot of frustration. About 2 weeks ago, wrestling legend Don Kernodle, that I did an interview with, passed away, and that kind of hit me. And I was in a weird mental state. It was very unexpected. I didn't. No one expected it to happen, and we kept in touch after the interview. I just called him a few days before he passed away. We talked and joked around. He was just that kind of person, and I was in a weird mental state, and I went like 3 or 4 days without doing anything card related. And even though I was in this weird mental state, I just felt better. And so that kind of gave me that nudge, like, okay, maybe you need to take a step back from, looking for cards and selling cards. Because selling cards is a thing all on its own, because you might sell 6 cards a night, and then you have to go and create the tracking, package everything, and then ship it out. You find the point at some, you know, between work to go to the post office, because you work 8 to 5, post office is open 9 to 5. You have to waste the lunch break going to the post office and shipping everything. And for a few months, it was fun. It was exciting. I was enjoy doing it, and I wasn't making a ton of money by any means selling cards, but it was good to be back into it, and I kind of rekindled that love with it. But within the last probably 4 to 6 weeks, I had definitely built up uh, I guess, a grudge, I guess, against cards, and I still kept doing it for a few weeks, and then with the passing of Don and just being in that mental state, not doing anything at all for 3 or 4 days, it kind of got me thinking, okay, yeah, maybe I do need to take a step back because I do feel a little bit better because again, in my own head, I had created some sick game where like, oh, I'm gonna, waste all my time and go to, look for cards on my lunch break, and that didn't work out at all. And then Target started their one limit rule on Friday morning. So I was like, well, I'm going to go on Friday mornings now. That happened once. And then after that, the lines were getting so big so early. I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning for sports cards. I'm just not doing it. I'm not that. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not to that point with them. And so it got me thinking, like take a step back, let's see what happens. And I felt better, wasn't as mentally drained, wasn't as mentally beside myself, going to Target or Walmart and there being nothing there. And it's just that feeling of like, oh God, I wasted another lunch break. I've got 10 minutes now to eat and get back to work. And so that's when I decided, like, why did I ever even put Chasin McGrath on the back burner anyway? Yeah, it's hobby related. Yes, I was posting card stuff and people were interacting with it, but it's not necessarily what I built Chasin McGrath for. I wanted it to be something different, something unique, and I don't think that's what I was doing with it for the longest time. It was just your normal, hey everybody, look, I got this Chronicles football blaster today I found, or hey, look, I found some top series one today. Let's open it and see what we find out. And I get that's a part of the hobby, it really is, but I've just wanted so hard to be different. I wanted to be different so bad, and I just haven't done that. And I have neglected chasing the graph, and I haven't seen a decline in like people interacting with the page or any like animosity or anything like that. This is just something that I have realized within myself. So, with that being said, I somehow or another rekindled my love for wrestling as well. Nothing modern or anything like that. I've watched a little bit of AEW, but can't get into it. So with the passing of Don, that some a wrestling thing that's been presented in my life, and I met a friend around here, Caleb, who's super into wrestling and wrestling cards and stuff like that. So we've kind of gotten to talking about that and just kind of pushing it more to the forefront a little bit. And at Don's visitation, there's a gentleman in front of me that I recognize. My granddad knew him from years ago, and he would be at the local wrestling events here when I was younger, when we had him here. And we got to talking. I was like, "You don't know me, but I know you. You and my granddad were friends." We got to talking, and it turns out that wrestling has started up around here again in the independent form, and I had no clue. It's like maybe 20 minutes from me, just on the other side of town, basically. I had no idea. So we were talking. I was telling him about chasing the graph, and he was telling me about how they just kind of started, and they were at a certain point where they were kind of in a rebrand and I guess a restructure, so to speak. And that right there is another wrestling thing in the last probably 2 to 3 weeks that has kind of been pushed in the forefront. And I never expected to get back into wrestling in any way, shape, or form. But I went to a show last night and with this gentleman, and we talked about some things. So hopefully, some really good things are in the works with those guys. And with all of that, plus I got an interview with former UFC uh, and Bellator commentator Mike Goldberg, who I was a huge fan of during his UFC days, and when him and Joe Rogan calling fights and stuff, that was just the man has like 4 or 5 catchphrases, and we've all used them at some point, whether they were relevant to the situation or not. And he agreed to do the interview. We did it, but what made it so special was he made a couple of Instagram stories of clips from our interview. He posted on Facebook, retweeted my tweet, and it was just like, this is freaking awesome. Like, this is just so awesome that this, like, I chasing the graph is showing up on this man's Facebook page. I literally got 0 followers out of it, which I'm completely fine with. And I've never asked for these people to share or post the interviews because I feel like I'm already asking enough of their time. And I offer to pay these people, and some of them, only one person's ever asked for money. No one else has ever asked for money, but I always offer to pay them. But still, I feel, I'm taking up 10, 15 minutes of their time. And so after I hit the interview with Mike Goldberg, I was just like, it was just such a rush. And I was like, yes, we're back in this. This is what I've been wanting to do. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I want to get back to the way Chasing the Graph was with the interviews and giveaways and stuff like that. Of course, there'll still be some card related stuff in there as well, because that's kind of the autograph side of it, because you got autograph cards that you can pull or you can send to players to get signed, which I was doing a lot of, that I put on the back burner for the last few months as well. So I just wanted to do a short little video and just kind of clue you guys in on as to where I'm at, where my head's at, and where Chasing the Graph has been, and where it's going, because like I said, I just want to be different. That's all it is. I don't want to be this person that's like, oh, here's my card, mail day, got it off eBay, which there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. That, not saying I won't do that, but I don't want that to be the main content that I'm putting forward. I want to be different. I want to bring something else to the hobby that no one else is doing. And that's in the form of the interviews. And it's all going to be centered around that. And I just really need to get back to doing those. I started a Patreon that literally one person has signed up for. There's 3 different tiers, $1, $5, and $9. And people get content there before the actual public gets it. Once I get a few subscribers and stuff like that, then that, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because I may do this for another 10 years and not have anybody do it. But that's just a benefit that you can get from the Patreon, that's not just like, hey guys, how are you doing today? Interacting that way. And you get all the content as far as like who I've contacted, who I've been denied by, and who I've booked interviews with, and I can upload those before I upload them anywhere else, and it just gets you that different content. But again, I may never have anybody subscribe to it, and I think in the year and a half that I've done Chasing the Graph, I want to say that I think I've made a total of probably like $25 total in a year and a half off of Chasing the Graph. So I'm definitely not in it for the money aspect. I just love talking about the autographs and the autographs I've gotten, and the stories behind them, and listening to other people's stories, and especially the celebrities and athletes. So I just wanted to do this short little video and kind of clue you guys in on where I'm at and where I'm going. And so I hope you can all appreciate that. And if you have any comments or anything, you can message me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I don't know if my email's up anywhere, but or you can just leave a comment here. So I want to thank you guys. I think Facebook's up to close to 1,200 likes. Twitter's creeping up on 1,400. So I just want to thank each and every single one of you for your interactions and your support. Whether you just share something or like something, I appreciate it all. Thank you guys.